All right. Oh, geez. Whoops. Little minor. There we go. Okay. Hello, world. My name is Don, and you're watching Showcase for the week ending Sunday, October 30th, 2022. Stop the Presses is our Sunday show, and weird headline. Uh-oh. Hold on one second. Weird headlines and your live chat comments. With me tonight, as you can already tell, is my good friend and colleague, Mr. Kaiko. How are we doing?
Give me one other device. Hear you from. So hold on. Just paying attention, but just bear with me.
So we're live right now. We
No,
can't
I
really
know.
do this kind of
I know.
technical
That's
troubleshooting
what
when
I'm
we're
saying.
live.
Bear with me. Audience to bear
Okay.
with me. I'm saying audience. Dude.
So I have to get started, but while you do that, we can just go ahead and roll, and I got to go ahead and get rolling with at least the first topic or something, just so we
That's
can
what
move
I'm saying. I'm
along.
paying attention.
Okay. So anyway, but it's good to see you again, once again, Kaiko, and it's good to see you guys at home once again as well. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscription bell. And as always, if you're with us live, drop us a line in the live chat, and we just might read it off on the air. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and try and see what we can get rolling with this week's weird news topics. First order of business comes to us from USA Today. The world's dirtiest man dies at age 94, reportedly not long after his first bath in 60 years. Holy crap. Yeah, this is apologies for those of you who are just now getting to your dinner, because it's 6 o'clock and shortly after 6 o'clock on the East Coast right now. This and our next story as well were actually user submissions that come to us from a Ms. Sugar, who hit us up on our Linktree page, which is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, the contact us form. So thanks very much for that, Ms. Sugar. So USA Today, Scott Gleason wrote this. Apparently, let's see, about 3 days ago was the last update on here. An Iranian man who hadn't bathed in more than 60 years died today at 94, last Sunday, excuse me, according to local reports. The man was known to his community as Amu Haji, or Uncle Haji, an Iranian term of endearment for an older person. Most notably, he became known as the world's dirtiest man for choosing not to wash himself for 6 decades, fearing he would get sick if he ever used soap and water, according to Iran's government-funded IRNA news agency. In the report, Haji cited emotional setbacks in his youth as a primary reason for not bathing. Haji, who died in the tiny Iranian town of Dega, that may be pronounced Dega, apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong, and was from the southern province of Fars, washed for the first time several months back. Now, you've had an interesting and unconventional life when you take a bath and it makes international headlines. Here's Kaiko. Once again, there we go. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, sir. I'm in here. We're good.
There we go. Welcome back. All right, now. So, yeah, I'm hesitant to read any further into this topic. I don't know how much of that you heard, but yeah, apparently this is the headline here. Any thoughts?
Taking his bath?
Say again?
It says not long after his first bath. The bath killed him. He took a bath.
If you just look at the headline on the surface, yeah, you can pretty easily sort of draw that assertion, especially considering that was his logic, that soap and water would kill him, which I've never heard before. That's just strange in and of itself, quite honestly. But there you go.
When you turn vegetarian, it's gonna kill you.
I'm not so sure about that necessarily.
Yeah, your body.
I mean, I hear we are going with the logic, but
your body can't take the meat. My mom can't eat meat no more. So now she can't eat meat because it messed with her. That's what I'm saying. So this guy,
well, looks like
now he's allergic to soap.
I guess. I don't know. Jeez. Brain spaz with the comment feed in YouTube. Dang, how could he stand himself? Valid question. Anyway.
Once you get used, it's over with. You're used to it. it doesn't affect you no more. It take about maybe a month to get used to hit, and then he's like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Desert Kingdom in the YouTube comments feed. Good to see you again, Desert Kingdom. Oh, wow. And then the shocked face emoji. Yeah. I don't think there's really anything more that can be said about this, quite frankly. This is definitely an interesting start, or at the very least, an unexpected start to a slate of weird news topics that we have set up for tonight. Let's go ahead and move on to the next item on the docket, which again was a user submission from Ms. Sugar last week via our Linktree page, which is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, Linktree / weekend showcase. Let's go ahead and take a look at this next thing, which is also from USA Today. Missing grandmother eaten alive by 22-foot-long python in Indonesia, officials say. So what's your history with snakes, Kaiko?
I hold snakes. I'm not afraid of snakes. I don't have a bad past with snakes. Approach a snake in the wild, but I like snakes. I wouldn't mess with no python or no anaconda. I've held an anaconda before. That's the thing about it. Circus.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're definitely not having to worry about necessarily like, Indiana Jones level of situational awareness, basically. Why did it have to be snakes?
Right. No,
that sort of thing.
I try to stay away,
Let's move into this topic here a little bit further. Authorities say a missing Indonesian grandmother was swallowed whole by a 22-foot python over the weekend. Good grief. The family of the 54-year-old woman reported her missing after they say she went to collect rubber on a plantation Sunday near her home in Jambi, Indonesia, according to CNN Indonesia. The city is on the island of Sumatra, the country's second longest island. Betara Jambi police chief S. Harafa told the outlet when her husband went to look for her, he found only her sandals, jacket, headscarf, and knife. According to the chief, 2 days after she disappeared, a search party found a reticulated python with a large bulge in its stomach. This actually reminds me of an episode. This is tragic, obviously, but this actually also reminds me of an episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force where they had a pet python that ate the meatball and the milkshake. Did you ever watch that show, Aqua Teen Hunger Force? The thing from Adult Swim?
I think I remember that episode. I'm trying to remember.
Like, this is... It's blowing my mind right now that could actually happen in real life. Like, just a python just swallow a full adult whole like that. I've only ever seen that happen in that cartoon. And it's, here again, a cartoon, but...
Right.
Wow. Good grief. Here's it looks like this is the picture. Holy crap. This is the picture.
Wow. That's crazy. Now, I done heard of that before. I mean, it's not new, very common. It's not, but I done snake eat a anaconda. What them snakes about? Them snakes about the size of a bus. The bus ate the person. I stay away from anaconda.
Yeah. Apparently, that's a nice, safe sort of assessment to make, just to generally just stay away from that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. No one witnessed the woman being eaten.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Good grief. Yeah, this is a public service announcement. Stay away from pythons. Be aware. Be very aware of your surroundings if you're dealing with a species like that that's indigenous to your particular region of the world. But anyway, that and the last topic were user submissions, which were sent in by Ms. Sugar via our Linktree page at the bottom of the screen, linktr.ee/weekend showcase. The contact us form in there. Thanks very much for that, Ms. Sugar. And thank you for watching as well. Those of you joining us live right now on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscription bell. And as always, if you're with us live, drop us a line in the live chat, and we just might read it off on the air, including this opportunity for user feedback, which comes to us from the New York Post. This was first published 6 days ago. If I can get this to load up properly. Darn it. Here we are. Come on. Web browser glitch. Okay, rats with tiny backpacks could soon save the lives of earthquake survivors. Okay, here's an attached video. What the heck? Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to back this up and play it from the beginning. with some volume. Here we are. All right, let's take a look.
Okay.
It's so bizarre how they made a little custom like harness for it like that. I don't know why we're not getting a narration or something with this necessarily, but okay, that's interesting. Let's see. Reviled, I think is how you pronounce that word, by most, the resourceful rat may finally have something to offer us humans. The project from APOPO, a Belgian nonprofit that trains animals to save lives, is fitting rats with small specialized backpacks to help emergency crews search for survivors in the event of building collapses. According to researchers on the project, their small size and excellent smell of the rodents, plus their adventurous spirit, makes them the perfect animal to help in such disasters. Donna Keene, a behavioral research scientist and leader of the project, told CNN, quote, "Rats are typically quite curious and like to explore, and that is key for search and rescue," end quote. So, Kaiko, how are you with rats?
So listen, people kill rats and I'm just like much to offer to us. Say, I like rats.
Okay, I'm sorry, your audio really kind of cut out there, but it sounds like you're just saying like you like rats and they have a lot to offer us.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Ms. D says, I like a rat that can help lives. Yeah, see, the thing is, I hear what you're saying. At the same time, I'm reminded of like there was this movie called Willard, I think it was, like from many years ago, where this guy who was so such a social outcast and a loner or whatever, like his only friends in the world were a bunch of rats, and he sort of trained them to do a bunch of creepy things. I think it's just this sort of cultural stigma surrounding rats from the standpoint of how typically sort of unsanitary and disease carrying that they have been seen as throughout history. I'm reminded of the Black Plague, I think it was, in Europe many years ago. And it's a lot of that was rodent born. That was rodent born illness that killed a lot of people. So yeah, it's good that we're getting some more sort of outside the box usage of these creatures. I just wouldn't go so far as to sort of befriend one myself. I don't care how useful you are. Like there has to be with me, there has to be some sort of like a limit. I don't know. That's just me thinking a lot about this, basically. Oh, hang on. I don't know when or how we lost Kaiko. Hopefully he'll be back in, but it seems we have somebody else in the waiting room here. Alo, can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello? Alo?
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Hey. We don't have a camera for you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, via audio right now, this is Alonzo, who is our lead video editor on our TikTok and YouTube channels. Basically, he's joining us right now live via microphone, basically, for lack of a better way to put it.
Yes.
How you doing, Alonzo? Good to see you again.
I'm good. It actually has been a while since we talked, so it's kind of funny that it's going to be on air. But yeah, I'm good. I'm just busy as always, not just with the channel, but with other things. Of course, Modern Warfare 2 is out. I got a Steam Deck. So many moving parts all at once.
Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, we'll have to expand a little bit further into Modern Warfare because there's something that I know we have coming up on the docket that we're going to need to bring up when it's time to plug other stuff at the end of the show after dad jokes. But we'll like put a pin in that. I guess you're going to be with us for the hour now.
Yeah. So for those watching, I mean, I might dip out. I might stay. We'll see how it goes. But for now, I'm here, and we'll just ride the train.
Okay, well, let's see what happens from here. Let's move on to the next item on the docket, which is from Lad Bible, ladbible.com. Anti-cheating exam hats said to be really effective. This was first published 6 days ago, and those are the the hats, it looks like, that are being used to prevent cheating in schools. That's one way to recycle egg cartons, I suppose. And apparently the ghost face mask has use all year round. Alonzo, your reaction?
Funny. Interesting. Back For tests, we used to just have like dividers. I don't know what it was like for you, but we just had like folders and like little like wooden like walls that we would just put in to prevent us from cheating. That was like what, not even a decade ago. 2017. So that was like 5, 6-ish years ago. Wow, nearing up 5 years.
Well,
this is goofy.
When I was coming up, we didn't have this kind of a cheating problem that justified something like this. So this is just kind of blowing my mind just on the surface of.
Dude, the internet made it incredibly like easy to cheat. My one friend wrote like notes inside the layered sticker of like a Gatorade wrapper, and then put water inside of it so he could see through it, and he could just read the notes through the Gatorade bottle. It was pretty, dude. It got pretty intense, and I'll be honest. Once we started moving from like Instagram to Twitter, it was insane. Like everyone just had like insane metas. I mean,
metas
there
with
was
meta
at that point. There was some honor, but like sometimes your GPA was on the line, and you just had to, remind yourself what those vocab words were. But
wait, you used a word a moment ago, just for the audience in case anyone didn't catch that. What's a meta? You said that a moment ago.
A meta is gamer slang for whatever the best strategies or resources are to use at that moment.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see. We have another comment from the YouTube page. Control, can we put that on screen, please? Do we have that? There we go. From Desert Kingdom, new dunce hats. That's one way to look at this, actually. I mean, that's a rather unfortunate, and I guess it's like, I don't know. Does that count as like name calling adjacent, kind of like labeling? I mean, I understand like where that's coming from, like dunce hats. Alonzo, I don't know if you're familiar with this term, but like when you have a student that's really kind of like bringing the bell curve down, right?
Oh yeah, the little cone hat thing.
Yeah, the cone hats, right? This is a little bit different here. Let's see. A classroom full of students sitting through an exam, I guess, have not been allowed to cheat after their teacher made them don a series of special anti-cheating hats. We say hats. These aren't really the type of headgear coming soon to a store near you, but they've apparently proven to be really effective, at preventing pupils from peeking at other exam papers. The idea was the brainchild of Mary Joy Mandain Ortiz, professor of mechanical engineering at Bicol University College of Engineering in the Philippines. It really is an engineer's solution to the problem of cheating, as the students have all been forced to wear hats, which make it all but impossible for their eyes to wander across the classroom and stare at someone else's answers. At the very least, they block out peripheral vision and probably make a hell of a noise if your head is swiveling back and forth as you try to spot what someone else has put down as an answer. Wow, individual eye blinders. That's crazy. That is crazy. Hey, I'm just noticing something. What is happening back here in the corner here? What is this person's eyes? What is being shielded with a bandana? I don't understand that. Like, what kind of peripheral elimination is being served by a bandana that only comes up to nose level? I don't understand that in the background. And this
bag mask guy on the left is kind of funny.
Yeah, that looks like Chester's dad from Fairly Odd Parents. Remember, he would always have a bag over his head. McBag Bat.
That was really well. That was a great example.
Wow. I mean, I didn't come up with the character. I just watched a lot of TV when I was younger. But anyway, yes. So this is, I don't know. Some of this is kind of like it's a little extra, and it kind of seems to me to be not as effective as intended. Certainly not the bandana example, but anyway, all right. So that's that. We got to move on, but don't forget, those of you who are curious to read more about this or any of the other topics that we're discussing on Weird News tonight, you can hit up the description for this video on the YouTube or Facebook page, and we can go ahead and we can give you our sources there. We have Kaiko back with us right now. Let's try and bring him back in. Hey, Kaiko, can you hear us all right?
Yeah, you should have issue of nothing now. Should work.
It's still a little tiny bit choppy, but it sounds a little bit more stable now. It's very slightly. Alonzo joined us while you were away. So it's all three of us here. So let's go ahead and keep going. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 topics to go, and we're at the 22-minute mark exactly. Let's keep going. New York Post published 8 days ago. Let's see. Oh, come on. Freaking browser. There we are. All right. Would you pay $57,000 to experience being buried alive?
Yes.
Please! No!
Okay, thanks for that. Control. Alonzo, you said no.
Yeah.
Alonzo, you said no to this?
Hell no.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd have to agree there. Like, there isn't really an amount of money that you could pay me to participate in something like this. Kaiko, what about you? Is there a threshold where you would consider it?
Do it, but not for $57,000.
Okay, I'm not even getting paid. Maybe if I was getting paid, but I'm losing money and my time.
Well, but you are literally. Oh, well, yeah. If you were getting paid to do this, so then what?
What kind of?
All right.
What kind of?
Yeah, what kind of trade is? I'm
do
losing
you
everything.
pay for it?
I'll be honest. When I first looked at this, I thought it was. I misinterpreted it in my head. I read the headline, but I misinterpreted it as "Would you be paid $57,000 to experience da 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 da?" Obviously, that's not what it says. But because it's just.
If I was being paid, yeah, I could use that $57K.
Right.
Yeah,
but I mean, therapy isn't free.
I also
therapy
have to ask, how long do I have to be buried and all that?
Well, let's take a look here. You can attend your own funeral for a price. Wow. A Russian company is offering customers the chance to participate in their own funeral and experience being buried alive for 3.5 million rubles, about the equivalent of $57,000. Company founder, holy crap. I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm going to butcher this name.
USD right away. I got to get rupees first.
What was that, Alonzo?
So I can't even get USD off the bat. I got to convert it. That's even worse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's true. The conversion rate. Ouch. But, okay, so this name, Katerina Preobrazhenskaya?
Don't try it.
I hope I pronounced that right. Announced the new venture earlier this week, which promises to help our clients discover new talents and psychic abilities and deal with their fears and anxieties after the funeral. Preobrazhenskaya described the morbid offering as a, quote, true symbol of fighting for yourself and your own happy future, end quote, in an Instagram post announcing the venture. Brainspaz on YouTube commenting, is this something maybe a goth type of person would try? Kaiko, Alonzo?
I don't think goth means that they would try it. I think goth just means they embody the lifestyle and like the community. I mean, I think anyone strange enough would be daring to do it. I just don't like the idea of being like having to pay and then doing it.
Yeah, it's just there's just something that really kind of sits bad with me. The idea of going so far out of your way to experience this that you have to come out of your own pocket for the privilege of doing it. I don't know. Ms. D, great effort pronouncing that name. Thank you, Ms. D. Appreciate that.
Literally the only part.
I'm sorry, say again, Alonzo?
That's literally the only part. I would consider it if I was getting money out of it.
Really? So then what's the right financial threshold? What's the right amount of money that somebody would have to pay you to be Ryan Reynolds in that one movie?
Dude, $57K is all right. Like, I would consider it for 57.
But for how long? For one night. For one night.
No, one night's too. I don't know. Dang, you got me thinking.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Kaiko, what about you? For one night, how much would you have to be paid?
I would do it. $100. I want to do it.
I'm sorry, did you say $100?
Why I do it?
No.
But I ain't paying. Why would I pay for that?
Okay. Your sound really broke up there. I hope you didn't literally say $100.
I said I'd do it for free.
What? You would be buried? You would willingly be buried alive for one whole night for free? You would turn down any money?
Yeah, no, bro, you're crazy.
I would say, listen, y'all have to pay me something. It seems like something that, but I would tell them, why would you make? That's all I'm saying. I'll just be like,
why would you make what?
Let's just level do it for free. but I would do it for free.
Okay, it's difficult to hear you there, but yeah, you're confusing brain spaz here in the YouTube comments section. I, I guess we're all kind of a little bit sort of off put here. I hope that basically there's some other words in there that are not really entirely being caught here. I know you're not. Yeah, he just lagged out. Yeah. Let's go ahead and chalk that off to, or chalk that up to basically Kaiko's connection was starting to give out at precisely the wrong time, to like a degree that ordinarily I would not see outside of a cell phone commercial, you know. But I guess there you have it. I guess it takes all kinds. I don't know how else to sort of walk away from this. The idea of willingly being buried alive for either free or almost free, essentially, for over an entire night. I can't wrap my mind around that. I'm with you, Brain Spaz. Hopefully that was a misinterpretation. What about you guys at home? Shoot us a comment in the chat feed. What your sort of tolerance threshold would be financially, if you were of the type to want to experience this without having lost a profoundly expensive bet first. Let's move on to the next item on the docket. This comes to us from KHON, some sort of a news affiliate in Hawaii, it looks like. Maine begins removing those naughty license plates. What naughty license plates? I don't know how I missed the memo there. This is out of Portland, it looks like. Maine is cleaning up its roadways by removing the flippin' vulgarities from license plates. Nice censorship job there. The state is enforcing new rules to eliminate F-bombs and other obscenities that appeared on vanity license plates after the state effectively eliminated its review process. The state began issuing recall letters this month with a handful each day. It'll take a couple of months to complete the process. Let's pause there for a second. Alonzo, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't really know. I don't think I know enough about it. Is there any more information that we could go?
Well, yeah, I was trying to open this up a little bit. Like, I can't, for example, I can't imagine myself putting something like, you know, crazy graphic and stuff like that on a license plate that is on my real car in real life. Like, you know, if you're doing there's a thing in Grand Theft Auto 5 online, for example, if you have what's called the iFruit app that's on like Android or iPhone, there's a section in the mobile app. If you tie it to your GTA Online account, you can actually create custom license plates for your cars in the game.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I can see doing that. You know, putting something vulgar there, but don't go through the process of like going through like all the DMV waiting in line and filling out paperwork and stuff like that. You know, for something that's just I don't. That's basically my stance. Alonzo, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. But let's go ahead and read a little bit further here. Secretary of State Shayna Bellows is passionate about free speech as a former director of the American Civil Liberties Union of Maine, but she said obscenities should not be on license plates, which are state property. She said, quote, "What I would say to those who want to engage in objectionable or questionable speech, get a bumper sticker," she said. Oh, sorry, that was the end of the quotation. Let's see. It started when state lawmakers all but eliminated the review in 2015 after a lawsuit successfully targeted neighboring New Hampshire's restrictions on vanity license plates. Reading ahead a bit. Last year, the Maine legislature directed the Bureau of Motor Vehicles to reestablish rules for vetting license plates. The new rules ban derogatory references to age, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, national origin, religion, or disability. Also banned is language that incites violence or is considered profane or obscene. A committee has been set up to review vanity plate requests along with complaints by members of the public. So there is a larger sort of conversation that this topic opens up, obviously, with theoretically political ramifications, obviously starting with the notion of free speech and state property, which we try not to cover political topics on this program, so we don't we can't really go too far into the political aspect of this. But just as far as the idea of crazy reactions to things, crazy statements to put on license plates on your vehicle. Yeah, I just can't see myself doing it. But Alonzo, there's your additional context. Any last thoughts on this before we move on?
It's kind of silly again, to be honest. I'm still thinking about the GTA thing you told me about. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Say that last part one more time.
Sorry, can you hear me? I feel like
I can. I didn't catch that last part. I was trying to fix something. Go ahead.
I was just saying I'm still thinking about the GTA thing that you told me about. It's kind of funny. There's so many things I know about that game.
Yeah. And we are getting don't forget we are getting GTA 6 very soon, but that's much later down the pipeline. But let's go ahead and move on. Don't forget, this and all of our other topics for tonight are already listed in our discussion area, the description area of this video on YouTube or Facebook. So if you'd like to read more information about this or any of our other topics that we cover tonight, that's where to find it. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscription bell. And as always, if you're with us live, please drop us a line in the live chat and we just might read it off on the air. We have 5 topics left to get through here. Let's see if we can get to the next item here. And, oh, shoot. Hang on one second, everybody. Apologies. Darn it. Come on. There we go. Okay, so next item on the docket comes to us from WGNO, which is New Orleans ABC affiliate, it looks like. Headline starts, crickets can't predict the weather, but they can tell you the temperature. Come on, stay in one place. They can tell you the temperature. Here's how. All right. Crickets are ectotherms, meaning their body temperature depends on the temperature of their surrounding environment. Much like a sluggish bumblebee on a cool spring morning or a lizard sunning on a rock, crickets move slower in cooler temperatures. As crickets warm, they can rub their wings together faster, which is how male crickets make the nightly repetitive chirp they use to attract males. I remember reading about that back in grade school. Alonzo, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't remember learning this in grade school, but it's pretty interesting, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's here again. It's basically nature's thermometer, but it can really sort of get annoying, unfortunately.
Like it's especially in a long time too. To be honest.
Say again one more time.
I haven't seen a grasshopper in a long time too. To be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really the type of person who is a not very sound sleeper, like it's one of those things that you can imagine really sort of getting on one's nerves. You know, I can so see, you know, just like midnight, 1 a.m, that the crickets chirping, and it's like, turn off that racket. You know, I don't know. Well, not literally like that, but I don't know. Just it's disconcerting from a selfish human being perspective, but nature gonna nature. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there you go. Let's see. The relationship between cricket, Desert Kingdom in the YouTube comments feed. Talented bugs. Yeah, pretty much. The relationship between cricket chirping and temperature has been noted for a long time. In Western science, it is called Dolbear's Law after the most widely referenced early publication on the phenomenon, published in 1897 by Amos Dolbear. Dolbear's observations showed you can count the number of chirps per 15 seconds, add 40, and that will give you the temperature in Fahrenheit. Interesting. Yeah, I remember being told that formula as well, but again, many, many years ago. It's one of those things that we just don't really need now. You know, we have the Department of Commerce, you know, the National Weather Service gives us that sort of information, and like, you know, apps on your phone that pull information from there. So, I mean, it's really easy to sort of forget those little, like, I guess we can call them Jeopardy facts, you know, little things that it's sort of common knowledge, but it's one of those things that you can only really know to the point of being able to use it if you already know it. Don't really go into this sort of information expecting to apply it in everyday life. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So, yeah. But anyway, I'm trying to get over Alonzo. Really? You haven't seen, you don't have any crickets where you're at?
I don't think so, bro. I've lived in the East Coast most of my life, and I've seen them there. But ever since I moved, I haven't seen a cricket in like a long time. Even in California, to be honest.
California is where you're based now?
Yeah, I've not seen one in a long time.
I guess that's an unfortunate indictment of, I guess, just how much, or how little, I should say, nature is kind of left.
I'm also in the city, so I think I'm away from any like, you know, like populated like rural or urban areas where I think they would maybe like delve into a habitat more likely than in like I don't know, a metropolitan like city area.
Well, but and also don't forget, like, yeah, there's just the city area isn't really sort of that conducive to that kind of nature, but also don't forget, California has been very notorious for wildfires, unfortunately. Like, there's a lot of West Coast states central and mountain time zone and Pacific time zone states and regions have been seriously susceptible to tragic wildfires, and we've lost a lot of nature in the course of those fires. So that probably does also factor into that as well.
True.
Sorry to be a bit of a downer there. I'm just now realizing as I'm explaining that additional context, but
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We have 4 topics left here, and then we got to go ahead and shut this thing down. We're still waiting on Kaiko to try to get back in here. I don't know. Maybe he had to reset his router. I'm not sure we'll be able to get him back by the end of the hour. But in any case, I guess, yeah, good that you're still here with us, Alonso. Let's go ahead and move on. Hopefully we'll see Kaiko again on Friday at worst. Here we go. Next item on the docket comes to us from CNN. If this thing can get out of the top half of the screen, this is really... all right, whatever. This weird-looking primate's extra long fingers give it an extra gross talent. I hesitate to read further here. This was first published 4 days ago. Here is a face only a mother could love. It looks like. And True. You can see a little bit closer there. That's what we're looking at in terms of those look like fingernails more than fingers, quite honestly. But apparently, there we go. Let's see. What in the world is... Let's go. Get rid of that. Sorry. Alonso, your reaction.
It's kind of ugly. I'm not going to lie. I like the eyes.
Yeah,
he's got, Skywalker eyes.
What did you say? Eyewalker eyes?
He has like Anakin Skywalker eyes.
Oh, Skywalker. Right. Yeah, it's whoops, hang on. Sorry, I'm trying to fix something really quickly in the chat feed. I don't know why we keep getting hit with that. That's strange. Anyway, humans aren't the only animals to pick their nose and eat the contents, a new study has shown. Researchers have for the first time documented the behavior in a primate known as the ai, a most unusual species of lemur. Well, apparently I'm betting it got its name by its propensity to salute high-ranking officials. ai. No, I'm kidding. The Journal of I don't know why I thought that was funny. Never mind. The Journal of Zoology published the findings on Wednesday. Anne-Claire Faber, a curator at the Natural History Museum of Bern in Switzerland and associate professor at the University of Bern, observed an ai picking its nose while she was filming the animals at the Duke Lemur Center, a sanctuary and research facility in Durham, North Carolina. Okay. And there's an anatomy picture here, which, holy crap, that's deep. Holy crap. That goes all the way into its brainstem almost. Are you seeing this, Alonso?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the craziest thing I've seen on this show in a while. Wow. You can't really unsee that. Wow. Let's see. Including AIs and humans, 12 species of primate have been observed snacking on snot. Oh my god. Unlike humans' relatively short digits, the AI's long and skinny middle finger is perfectly shaped for deep digging. A reconstruction of the animal's nasal passage based on a CT scan suggests its curved finger can reach all the way back into its throat to root around for mucus. Not much is known about why certain animals pick their nose. Well, there you go. Yep. Mining for gold. Brain Spaz says, whoa, he can almost reach down past his throat, but ew. Yeah, that is... Wow, holy crap. That's crazy. Wow. Well, I guess there isn't really anything else that can really be pointed out about this. Good grief. Let's move on. Don't forget, those of you watching along at home, thanks so much for watching. And yeah, there's more information on... Hopefully you don't need any more on this, but all the other news topics that we've been discussing tonight, you can check out more information about that from our sources list in our YouTube upload and on our Facebook upload for this video at Weekend Showcase. Excuse me. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscription bell. And as always, if you're with us live, please continue to drop us a line in the live chat, and we just might read it off live on the air. We have 3 more topics left to go through here before the top of the hour. We got 20 minutes left. Let's see. This is from Oddity Central. Next topic is horse kicks $1,200 horse sneakers are a real thing that exists. This was first published 10 days ago. Horse kicks are just what they sound like, sneakers for horses, created from popular human models like Air Jordan or Yeezy Boost. Maybe not quite. I wouldn't put Yeezy in that category of popular these days, but that's a different topic. Each pair sells for at least $1,200. Wow. With some very few notable exceptions, horseshoes have remained virtually unchanged for hundreds of years, but that is about to change, thanks to sneaker customizing expert and the shoe surgeon SRGN Academy alumni Marcus Floyd. Using deconstruction and reconstruction, Floyd has created several pairs of equine sneakers that retain the elements that usually make brands like Air Jordan, Yeezy, or New Balance 650 stand out. At the same time, these are essentially horseshoes, so they also meet the unique ergonomics of horse hooves. And that looks like hilarious amounts of Photoshop. Alonzo, you're a graphic artist as well. I'm glad you're here for this topic. What's your first reaction to this?
This is so cool, dude. From like a designer standpoint, I think it's pretty funny. I think it's really well composited too. Just kind of looking at it. I think I would really like to see somebody do like a series of like this with like different animal like feet.
Really? So what are some other animals? Now that you asked that question, I have to wonder, what are some other animals that strike you as like the kind that they would benefit from having custom like fitted shoes like this or custom fitted sneakers?
Benefit, I couldn't tell you, but from a designer standpoint, I think it'd be funny to see like duck Jordans. You know what I mean? Like webbed feet
Ducks?
Jordans.
Duck Jordans?
You know what I mean? Like something weird. Like webbed feet Jordans or like dog shoe, cat shoe Jordans. So I think from a designer standpoint, that seems really fun. But practicality, couldn't tell you. Probably like none of them are practical from any standpoint.
I mean, at the very least, we know just based on what horses are kind of used for, ultimately in terms of, agriculture or, transportation or, there's some areas I think it's New York has a district that is famous for having horseback police officers as well. Depending on the application, horses obviously stand to get the most benefit from this sort of thing. Brain Spaz says designer shoes for horses, too cute.
True.
Yeah. Desert Kingdom says cute shoes. Yeah, I'm not much of a sneakers person myself, to be honest. Like as long as it gets you from A to B, that's basically that's all I need for the most part. But then again, I am not a horse, so there you go. Wilbur. Anyway, bonus points to anyone who caught that reference. Let's move on to the last two topics of the night here. First one of which comes to us from Oddity Central once again. This Japanese company is working on a human washing machine. Yeah, it's called a bathtub. What are we talking about here? What is... I don't know what they're doing here. This was first published 6 days ago, October 24. Science, a Japanese technology company specializing in bathroom and kitchen innovation, but apparently not naming, recently unveiled plans to produce a washing machine for humans. Believe it or not, the concept of a human washing machine isn't new. At the 1970 Osaka Expo, Japanese electronics giant Sanyo Electric showcased its ultrasonic bath, a human washing machine that cleaned, massaged, and dried the occupant in a fully automated 15-minute cycle. The concept never really took off as a commercial product, but now another Japanese technology company wants to take a shot at it, promising to deliver a modern take on the human washing machine by 2025. Are there pictures? Yes. Okay, so this is the human washing machine right here. This looks like a Dyson, honestly. This looks like a glorified, like one of those Dyson air hand dryers you would see in a public restroom, maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
No,
Alonso, what are your thoughts?
I thought the same thing about the Dyson hand dryer thing. Just put your hand in there and then it's like all done.
Yeah, I'm reminded of this that I came across on, I think it was Instagram a couple years ago, where somebody had actually done some sort of a scientific microbiological analysis. Basically, I'm probably not using that word right, but basically it's just doing a side-by-side sort of comparison between the Dyson dryers or like similar sort of air dryers as that, and just regular paper towels. And, from like the traditional sort of paper towel dispenser you would get in a public restroom. And the results were really surprising against the hand dryers as opposed to paper towels, and that really kind of blew my mind. I wish I had the ability to sort of look that up right now. We got to sort of start winding this thing down. But
I think it makes sense though, because like dryers like kind of disperse bacteria, right?
Mm.
And it's hot air, so that's also like, you know, where bacteria kind of thrives. Makes sense to me personally.
Yeah, I know. And when you really sort of unpack the logic of why it is, it does have an air of sense to it. It's just one of those things that it lends itself very well to what our subject matter is for tonight. It is weird news. Like this, it's weird that something that's designed to be sanitary could in fact backfire to the degree that we normally would only really see in a Coyote and Roadrunner cartoon, except without the threat of death. Ms. D, commenting on YouTube, says, it seems beyond lazy to want a machine to clean the body. And how is it cleaning the skin where the person is sitting? That's a valid question. That's actually a valid question. Like, unless, like, do you, like, I don't know, are there some sort of, like, scrubbing sort of surface on the area that you're sitting where you kind of have to sort of do this, you know, where you're sitting so that your butt gets scrubbed properly? You know, I don't know. There are some really sort of unsettling questions about the inherent potential sanitation efficacy of something like this. It really kind of there are valid questions to be asked about that. Let's see. This is. I'm trying to find some other. Okay, this looks like another sort of thing. Okay, so the water comes in, the soapy water goes in, it basically goes up to chest level, it looks like here, judging by this particular artist rendering. This isn't an attached video. I don't see any videos in here so far. Here's one. Let's see if this will play.
大阪のパナソニックミュージアム。ここに貴重な電化製品が保存されています。
Different language, and there are no subtitles on this. Let me see if I can try to move forward to the rendering, basically, of how it works. Here we are. Okay, so this is about as close as I can get. It looks like you actually have access to let me just mute this. It looks like you actually have access to a media screen of some kind in the machine, which gives you a real-time readout of your vitals, your heart rate, your blood pressure, stuff like that, while you're in the machine, which is cleaning you in real time, apparently. That's... Wow. This is something I would ordinarily expect to see in, like, WALL-E. Remember that movie, WALL-E, Alonzo?
I do. I was thinking about that. Really like
you know exactly where I'm going with this, yeah.
Dude, I love technology. I love seeing stuff like this, to be honest.
But what does this say about... But hold on a second. Really, if you think about it, what does this say about how sort of inherently over-reliant humanity has sort of become now on technology and sort of the idea of making technology sort of do things for us that we kind of arguably should, you know? Like, at what point do we just become WALL-E without even really realizing it? Desert Kingdom on YouTube with the comments feed saying, that's a bit much. Fair enough.
I think it depends on the person. I know that someone credible and notable in like modern day technologies, like John Carmack, like a really gifted programmer. And he's even said himself that like as a person, like he can't control the factors of individuals who do become, you know, negatively affected with technology. But there are people who take things like Twitter and TikTok and form their algorithm around things that, you know, are suitable and very educational towards them, like me with my editing tips and tricks and things. So I think it's a really difficult question to ask, you know, what over-reliance looks like. And I think it depends on the person, especially for those who are growing up with the internet, those who have seen it birthed or evolved, like Carmack himself. So I think it depends. I think it's really cool to listen to leaders like him who have seen it and have been indulged in it at its heightest through all of its kind of like lifespan, like the internet's lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I guess it depends. It's a very hard question because you can't control, and not every person's the same, right?
Right.
Some will take technology and use it differently than the way person B or C is going to use technology. Or even that individual will have a very limited knowledge of what they're capable of with technology, or how to use technology, or what to use technology on.
And yeah, and that's a very valid point. It actually sort of harkens back to a little bit of what we were talking about during the cheating thing. I don't remember if you were with us for that topic earlier tonight. Yeah, the cheating helmets. That was the first thing. And the first thing that you came with us for, you came on board for tonight. And we were talking in that story earlier tonight about basically how much easier it is to cheat now because social media because social media wasn't a thing in existence when my generation, for the most part, was going through public school. You know, those formative years where, you know, study habits and you know, such things are sort of like figured out and sort of drilled into you and sort of laying a foundation for what your college life is going to be like or what your post high school life is going to be like, where you have to sort of prove what you know. It's you don't really have the capacity in the moment necessarily to accurately foresee what is coming down the pipe, especially at the current rate of technological advancement. There's stuff that's being developed right now or being thought of right now that just isn't within anybody's remote sort of understanding necessarily now. But this time, 20 years from now, we're going to look back on videos like this and wonder, like, really? You couldn't see this coming? Really? Like, because we can already sort of do that with social media. We in the sense that we can't imagine. You'd be hard pressed to find somebody in, for example, Gen Z, who can imagine a world that did not have social media, that did not have Twitter, that did not have, you know, TikTok, obviously being the most prevalent with Gen Z. But I mean, there's viral YouTube videos on that I'm sure you've seen, Alonzo, about how people they'll set up this like 90s and 80s technology in front of Gen Z kids and like just watching their reaction to that and be like, wait a minute, what is this? What do you mean you had to pick up a receiver and you had to, what is this thing you had to dial one digit at a time? Where's the speed dial function? How do you download apps on this thing? What do you mean you have to rotate and you can only make calls? This is dumb. Where's my iPhone? Where's my, you know, it's like, come on. It's
I feel you.
It's amazing that we're here right now, and it's really kind of disconcerting thinking about how far we have yet to go, but hopefully we'll be able to sort of realize what's going on before we go too far down that pipe, if we haven't already hit that oversaturation point beyond all recovery and hope already. Depending on who you talk to, we have, but we're not here to really muse on that too far. We have like 6 minutes left before the top of the hour and one last story before we start to wrap up. This is also from Oddity Central. Startup turns desert sand into fertile soil in just 7 hours. This was first published 10 days ago. Norwegian startup Desert Control claims that it can fight desertification. I was about to say, like, how does something turn into a dessert? Like, goodness, like that's one way to follow up dinner. Am I right? Desertification efficiently by spraying sand with liquid nanoclay, LNC, and turning it into soil in a matter of hours. Fascinating. This is some Star Trek, the motion picture sort of situation. Remember that movie? I don't know if you ever saw that movie, Alonzo. Like a lot of that movie was about. Oh wait, no, it was either the first movie or the second movie. Wrath of Khan. Basically, they were doing stuff about the Genesis device. They were the whole plot of that movie was about terraforming a planet.
Yeah, no, it was a great movie. I like Wrath of Khan. I think that's as good as any Star Trek movie gets. It's Wrath of Khan.
Oh yeah. But anyway, back to this topic. In the past, we featured many green heroes who've been fighting desertification. I did it again. Jeez. For decades, using all sorts of techniques from drought-resistant shrubbery. That's a typo. Drought-resistant shrubbery to tree barriers. But now a startup claims to obtain much better results in the same harsh conditions in just 7 hours. Invented in the early 2000s by Norwegian scientist Christian Olesen, liquid nanoclay is the secret behind Desert Control's amazing achievements. When sprayed onto sand, this amazing invention trickles down and percolates the sand, turning it into water-retaining soil where plants can germinate and thrive. Okay, so here's your before picture, I'm guessing. I'm trying to see where... Oh, man, that stuff doesn't load up. Okay, here we go. Here's a YouTube video. Let's see. Desert Kingdom in the YouTube comments saying, wow, a real Desert Kingdom. That's funny. Here's a YouTube clip. Let's see what this is about.
We're out here in the field looking at what really goes on in the soil when we have applied liquid natural clay, LNC, to the desert sand. So the area where I'm sitting right now is a field where we are growing panicum, an important crop for animal feed. We're growing alfalfa on the other side here as well with the same treatment. So all that you can see here of the area has just been seeded recently with panicum seeds. We can see some of them starting to come up here. They've germinated nicely, starting to come up already. But what I'm interested in today is really to see what's going on in the soil here with this liquid natural clay. So to take a look at that, let's go in and dig into the soil a little bit and see what's really going on here. So I take up a handful of soil and we can see this is really holding together very nicely. You can shape it pretty much like agricultural soil that we know, these rich, dark farming soils.
I'm reminded of that play sand that used to get advertised a lot on like TV in the early 2000s. I don't remember what it's called. You know what I'm talking about, Alonso?
Moon sand.
Moon sand? Is that what it's called?
Moon.
Oh, moon sand. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Okay, here we go.
Is percolated into the soil down to 30, 40, 50, 60 centimeters in depth and created this soil structure where we can shape these soils like this. So the clay is really binding the sand particles together.
Okay, so let's go ahead and stop this here. We didn't have time to watch the whole thing. But the whole video is listed on the article, and the link to this is posted in the description on YouTube and Facebook if you're curious to watch more on this. But so apparently the big takeaway is this is basically synthetic soil that can be used to actually sort of facilitate plant growth, which obviously there are implications, both good and bad, of this. Basically, like I can see, for example, obviously the food shortage implications are positive, basically, because all of a sudden here's more tillable soil that you can use to grow corn, wheat, basic elements for sort of our dietary supply chain, basically, or to grow grass, basically, for animals to eat, basically, that are also themselves part of the global food supply. But then also, what does this mean? What does this sort of man-made soil do to sort of the ecosystem, the larger ecosystem, in areas that are sort of dependent on like deserts to exist? This actually makes me want to do further research to sort of see the role that deserts play in the larger global ecosystem, and whether or not it would be a good idea to sort of remake this land in our image, so to speak, remake something that nature had originally intended to be a desert indefinitely, and then just remake it into resource growing land that nature didn't necessarily intend to put there. Alonso, what are your thoughts on this?
I agree with most of what you said. I don't think I really have much to add besides that, because I think you hit the nail on the head. But for the most part, I think it's rather interesting. I mean, I don't really hear much about like startups and all these fertile soils and things. Like, this is all very new information to me.
Well, if you had to go ahead and plant your flag on one side or the other, do you think that this technology is good for the humanity benefits sort of situation, or bad for the nature risk situation if technology gets out of hand?
Hard to tell, but I think experiments are always meant to be had in one way or another, just to at least see, right? That's what science is testing.
Yeah, but I mean, didn't Jeff Goldblum say like many years ago about how, the thing about scientific discovery, it's a violent, penetrative act that scars what it explores, and how life finds a way,
Yeah, bro, that's but that's dinosaurs, bro.
Yes, but the point is still sort of relevant as far as sort of how much do we trust ourselves as a species that we know where the limit should be with how much we have the capacity to sort of change nature, to change the rules of nature to suit our needs, or sort of overcompensate for what nature itself is no longer able or willing to do to support our livelihood, basically, starting with the short and long-term effects of climate change. Brainspaz saying, synthetic soil sounds good but scary. Is it GMO soil? But if I had to choose between starving and food grown in GMO soil, it's a no-brainer. Thanks for the comment, Brainspaz. Yeah, I can see that. I can agree with that too. It's the lesser of two pretty clear and present evils What about those of you who are watching this? The rest of you who are watching this, like after the fact, what do you think? Is synthetic soil something that you're looking forward to as far as a benefit for humanity, or something that poses more of a risk to nature than justifies its own existence? Drop us a comment, start a conversation, and let us know what you think. And that officially wraps up the list of topics that we have for tonight. And now we have two last segments to get to. First of all, favorite topics. Alonzo, what was your favorite topic of the night? I know you missed the first couple, but you were here for most of it. What was your favorite for the night?
The horseshoes, for sure.
The horseshoes? Yeah. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Let me see. Hang on. Let me go ahead and put this back on screen here. What is this doing? There we are. Yeah, the horseshoes it sounds like are going to be Alonzo's number one takeaway for the day. For me, I think I'm going to go ahead and put, which one is my favorite one for the night? Probably, you know what? I don't want to be lazy about it, but I gotta say, probably my most favorite one will probably be the one that we just did, the startup that turns sand into soil, basically, just for like the scientific sort of discovery implications of it. Basically, on the surface, that comes across as an interesting sort of conversation starter. It fosters conversation about the kind of topics that we were just talking about, basically, and really sort of making sure that we're on the up and up as far as understanding the trajectory of scientific discovery, which is something that we don't really do very enough in the right sort of circles, basically. We do a lot of it now, especially as climate change has sort of been more of a continuing sort of factor in our lives. We mentioned the West Coast wildfires earlier in the show tonight, and not to mention the risk of hurricane damage that hits us here on the East Coast pretty hard as well. We gotta be mindful of nature, I guess, is all that I can say on that note. But that, I think, is going to be my takeaway from there. But what about you guys at home? Those of you who are watching along either live or after the fact, what were your favorite topics for tonight? Go ahead and drop a comment down below to continue the convo. Feel free to visit us at Weekend Showcase on all major social media platforms, or Linktree/Weekend Showcase, like in the description and the news crawl down below, to see it all in one place. Which brings us to one of my most favorite parts of this show that we do every week, which is Dad Joke of the Day. I think, Alonzo, this is our first. This is the first time you've been with us for Dad Joke of the Day, because you're not normally able to participate with us live. But I'm hoping you're still with us and didn't just disconnect out of fear of how much cringeworthy this Dad Joke of the Day is going to be.
Let's hear it.
You're still with us? Okay, good, cool. Just making sure. Okay, so here we are. Now that we're at the end of the show, here comes Dad Joke of the Day. Let's see. Where is a good one? All right, here we are. How about this? Actually, no, I think we did that one. I'm sorry, my mistake. Here you are. Watch this. Why did the alternate universe Spider-Man do so well on his driving test?
Why?
He's an excellent parallel parker.
I hate it. Is that a Predator shirt?
Yes, it is. Yeah, this is I can't really stand up very much right now, but yeah, this is my Predator shirt.
Yeah, it's
and
sick.
There's a laser pointer playing with kittens in the foreground of it. It's hard to get a proper camera perspective of that shirt. But anyway, yeah, I got it from a GameStop many years ago. So there you go. But anyway, so yeah, that's basically about it. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, those of you at home, and thank you, Alonzo, for taking time to join us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, for sure. No worries.
Yeah, and thank you, Kaiko. If you're happening to catch this after the fact, I guess we sort of lost him about a third of the way through the show, but hopefully we'll be able to see him again. And you as well, right here this coming Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, for another new trailer reaction show. We hope to see you then. For now, everyone, please be safe, and I hope you had a great weekend. Showcase you later. Good night.